It is an important ability to adapt your language to a situation. Being able to speak more diplomatically is part of this skill. So far, we talked about 5 strategies for sounding more polite. 1. Modal verbs. 2. Qualifiers. 3. Rephrased negatives with not very and a positive adjective. 4. Rephrased negatives with unable. And 5. Negative question forms. In this lesson, we will focus on the other 5 structures. 6. Comparative forms. 7. Softeners. 8. Restricted phrases. 9. The passive voice. And 10. The continuous aspect. The 6th strategy we will talk about is comparatives. Let's consider some examples. When you listen to these pairs of sentences, focus on how more diplomatic the second sentence sounds. Pair 1. A. We're looking for something cheap. B. We're looking for something cheaper. And now, the second pair. A. Would you be prepared to consider this? B. Would you be more prepared to consider this? Do you agree that the use of comparatives makes what you say sound more negotiable? In a sense, it leaves the door open. Let's move on to softeners. These are words and expressions that we use at the beginning of a sentence. Some examples include, unfortunately, to be honest, I'm afraid, with respect. Here are some examples to compare. A. This doesn't meet our needs. B. Unfortunately, this doesn't meet our needs. And now the second pair. A. You don't quite understand. B. With respect, you don't quite understand. Using softeners at the beginning of a statement signals bad news. With respect is a particularly bad sign, so use it carefully. It's time for the 8th strategy for diplomatic speaking. It is called restricted phrases, and it is about using certain words, usually at the end of the statement. Some examples include, at the moment, at this stage, so far. Listen to some sentences and notice how the use of a restrictive phrase makes the second sentence more polite. A. That's our position. B. That's our position at the moment. And now the second pair. A. I don't think we can go any further. B. Don't think we can go any further at this stage. These short phrases, restricted phrases, do not exclude the possibility of future movement, future change of opinion or position. The last but one strategy is passive voice. Have a look at these examples. A. You said you were ready to sign. B. It was understood you were ready to sign. And now the second pair. A. We thought you had accepted these terms. B. It was assumed you had accepted these terms. By avoiding the use of statements beginning you said and we thought, and using passive forms instead, you depersonalize the situation and reduce the amount of personal responsibility or blame. Lastly, let's have a look at the continuous aspect. Listen to these 2 pairs of sentences. A. We aimed to reach agreement today. B. We were aiming to reach agreement by today. And now the second pair. A. We had hoped to see some movement on price. B. We had been hoping to see some movement on price. Using the past continuous keeps your options open. You were aiming to reach agreement and still are. The past perfect continuous closes the door a little more. You stopped hoping but could be persuaded to hope again. It is also more polite to use the continuous aspect. That's why we have the expression, I was wondering if you could help me. That's it. We have covered 10 strategies for tentative speaking. In this second part, we looked at comparatives, softeners, such as to be honest, with respect, restrictive phrases, for example, at this stage, the passive voice, and finally at the use of the continuous aspect. All of these constructions allow us to be more polite and diplomatic when we speak. This can be particularly useful when you are negotiating something or having a discussion at work or at home.